Hey guys, what's up? Jimmy here with another Lots of Games video. I hope all of you guys are having a fantastic week. So on March 3rd, when the Nintendo Switch launches, if you guys were to walk into a Target or a Best Buy or a GameStop and you walk in that day and go, hey, you know what? The Nintendo Switch just launched. I didn't pre-order a console, but I'm here to pick one up. I want to buy one right now. Most of the employees would probably give you a look like, are you crazy? You know, this system's been sold out for weeks, or the pre-orders have been sold out for weeks. There's no way you're getting one. And that's pretty much what you'd come to expect. There's a lot of different retailers out there, whether it's Walmart or again, like Target or a lot of the other stores that are out there. However, now I know most people that are listening to this probably will not have access or be able to do this, but according to an ambassador at Nintendo, that the New York City Nintendo store, which is pretty legendary, a lot of Nintendo fans, is kind of like, at least in the United States, just a special place. The Nintendo New York store will actually have a comfortable amount of Nintendo Switch consoles. And that you actually, if you're in that area, your chances to get one is actually pretty good. And actually something was really interesting said, and this is in regards to, now of course, the Nintendo or the NES Classic is something that sold out very quickly, and that's on eBay. But here's the interesting thing about the NES Classic. This is what the ambassador said. He said, days after the launch of the Nintendo Classic, we still had units in stock. Now, with the same thing could be possible with the Nintendo Switch. Now again, most people listening to this probably won't have access, but if you are in the New York area and you are interested in getting a Nintendo Switch console, you might want to consider heading on over to the Nintendo store. And actually, if I was in that area, I would love to be there just to kind of, for the atmosphere, the excitement. I'm sure there's going to be thousands of people. It's probably going to be a very, very, very exciting time. And the thing that I am very interested in, not just the Nintendo Switch, but also one of the things that has not been talked about that I am really curious about is if in fact the Nintendo store in New York, if they are going to have extra copies of the collector editions for The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Are they going to have extra copies of the special edition? And also, maybe, you never know, they might even have extra copies of the Master Edition. No one really knows how many copies Nintendo was able to make. It's been kind of screwy, kind of weird on, whether it's Best Buy or GameStop, on how many copies of the Master Edition were made available. But the New York store could, in fact, you might have a good chance of course, not only getting a Nintendo Switch, which your chances sound pretty good. If you're there that day on March 3rd, regardless if you're number 100 in line or if you're number 1000 in line, your chances to get a Switch is really, really good. But I would also be curious to know if your chances would be good to get a collector's edition. I would imagine that they would have extra collector editions there. After all, it is one of Nintendo's most important locations for selling Nintendo products. There, of course, is going to be a lot of fans. They're going to be traveling countless hours to be there for that special day for the launch of the Nintendo Switch. But something to kind of think about. But guys, let me know what your thoughts on the Nintendo Switch and about what this Nintendo ambassador said, which is kind of interesting on how, like everywhere else, as an example he gave, everywhere else the Nintendo Classic was sold out, but at the Nintendo store in New York, it was in stock for days. And so something to kind of think about if you guys are curious about and wanting to get a Nintendo Switch, and if you're in that area. But anyway, guys, as always, thanks so much for watching. I'll talk to you later.